most eyes can't see. It's just so tiny it can't be made out of something.
So like a fundamental particle.
Dad?
Yes?
Can we talk about two things?
Sure, what else did you want to talk about?
The observing and thinking.
Oh, okay. Well, there's another interesting topic that I want to talk today about with this very young philosopher, Cassia. It is the idea of reasoning versus observing. So, which do you think comes first? Which is more important in discovering truth and getting at reality? Using reflection, pure reason, or observation? So are you a Platonist or an Aristotelian? You know, Plato thought that pure reasoning was more important because he got... Tell us.
I don't think either is more important, but this is why I think so. It's because if you're just like very little and you don't know what a triangle is, and somebody, maybe you're in preschool, and then they tell you, write a triangle, and then you're like, well, I don't know what a triangle is, so you have to go observe it. And then later in your life, you think a lot. You have to think about it because you know what a triangle is. You just think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So later in your life, if you still have to draw a triangle, you easily know it because you're thinking. You just, I remember when I learned.
But how are you going to figure out what to look for when you're young unless you understand ahead of time, just using your reasoning, what a triangle is?
Well, you kind of just like say, your parents might tell you, here, this is a triangle, and then you like observe it and look at it and see, okay.
So you think we need both, which makes sense. I think everybody would.
Yeah.
You need observation and you need
because
reason.
Math is like the thing where you have to think.
Yes, math is a good example.
But then science is great at like the thing of observing.
Yes.
So you need them like a lot.
You do need them both. And now here's an interesting idea though. When you understand something using just your reason. So for example, if you understand 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah.
You understand that clearly.
Yes.
No mistake, no error. There's no risk. It's clear.
Yeah.
When you observe, your eyesight may be not that perfect. So it's almost as if there's something more reliable about pure reason. That when you can see something vividly and clearly with your mind's eye, you can see it more reliably than when you see it with the eyes. Yeah.
I think you're going with Plato and you think thinking is wrong.
Yeah, well.
I'm not going with either of them because I say you really need both of them. Because if you had no observing, well, how could you learn about stuff?
It's so true. And you definitely, even as a Platonist.
Like in science, if you were little and you had like no observing skills, and in science they said, okay, I'd like you to observe these plants and write about them and tell me everything about them. Because science is like when you really have to observe things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, I don't know what? Because you don't have the observing skills.
True.
So you're like, think. Ooh, what is the details about this plant? I have no idea because I've never seen one. You have to observe one to get the memory of it, so later in your life you can think about it.
Very true.
And then if you didn't have thinking, how could you you'd have to keep going back to observe it, to remember it. But you couldn't remember it because you hadn't been thinking, so you just kept looking about it.
Well,
and then write it. And
you may also be interjecting the idea of memory now in addition to pure reason.
Well, thinking is kind of like memory.
So you're thinking of the memorial faculty as analogous or alongside pure reasoning. And I think that's probably a smart point to make there, is that you do also need memory. You can't actually rely just on observation.
Yeah,
because you have to re-observe everything.
Yeah, this is
brilliant. Yeah.
And then
memory,
I said,
but
also if you had no observing, you wouldn't learn about anything, and then you couldn't think about anything.
Right.
And if you didn't have thinking, you just go back to observe it, but you would never write it down because you never understand it.
Well, and even if you follow Plato, you would still think that experience would likely be necessary to equip you to understand the idea.
I don't think either is more important.
Got it.
Now I'd like to go back.
But you want to go back to infinite regress idea? Or?
Yes.
Okay, what did you want to say about that?
Well, I just thought we talked about observing thinking a lot.
Oh, no, yeah.
And
Okay.
okay.
Should we take a pause?
Yes.
Let's do it. This was a wonderful conversation.
See you later. Back with you.
Cheerios
What, Dad?
and Fruit Loops.
What?